Hickok 45 here, and we're going to look today, as you can tell from the title, at a $200 45 and a $600 45. Okay, both of which are fairly widely available, either these specific models or ones very similar. Okay, we got Glock, we got a High Point. So let's start out by shooting both of them. 45 ACP, same ammo. Let's run some of this through it and see if it'll work. Okay. Oh, we got a water. Let's start out with that watermelon. You want to? Nice. All right. What did it do? Malfunction? There we go. Boom. All right. That was the last round in that magazine. Okay. Let's try the Glock 45 ACP. 30 Glock 30S. See if it'll take out a 2-liter. All right, nice. Ooh, garbage can. All right, so they both shoot. They both work. Now, I don't think we've had many malfunctions with this one, so we'll keep an eye on that. But let's try it again. You want to? Just to make sure, because it has not been malfunctioning. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's the way it normally operates. Okay, this is John's firearm, and you know, it's an important firearm, so it's got to work. All right, so a couple $100, you can buy a 45 ACP that will shoot, and for $600, and of course any other amount of money you want to spend or can spend. But mainly, we just want to just kind of compare what you get. You know, we've done this series with various firearms, and we'll do it with others. But your price range is kind of the focus, and we're doing this one by caliber. So if you're in the market, you just really want a 45, you know, ACP, big old 45. They're fun to shoot, whether you use it for you know, defense or whatever. Big old bullets. They're just a lot of fun to shoot. Then both of these will shoot them. And before we go, support. So, yeah, 2 guns, and some of you are familiar with these, and some of you are not, all right? And some of you are more familiar than I am with them. Now, you might notice right away, and I just got a couple of examples. This is what $600 can buy you, and in this type of pistol, you know, with polymer, and you can pay more, but commonly found firearms, you know, on the shelf, okay? Well, you might wonder, what's the difference? Why would they cost that much? $600. Let's see, where's my calculator? That's is that 3 times as much? I think it is, yeah. 3 times as much as this one. So how does a company, this is High Point, how does someone make a firearm that will fire these big old bullets and for $200? Because almost every other firearm like this that fires those rounds is going to be more expensive. I don't, you know, there's probably some others I'm not aware of, but it's difficult to do, to make a firearm for $200. My gosh, sometimes it costs that half of that to fill up your car or truck in gasoline, doesn't it? If you have a gas hog. So to be able to buy an actual, you know, pistol for that is pretty amazing. Well, the High Point, it's manufactured, it's designed in a way that it can be manufactured on the cheap, you know, inexpensively. It's blowback operated, okay? That means it doesn't really have the lock breech system like a lot of semi-automatic pistols have, like the Glock, 1911s and others. It just blows back. I mean, sheer weight of the spring and weight of the slide, okay? That's it. It's not even locked up. It's just a big, heavy slide. That's what does it, all right? And plus, it's made out of some kind of zinc alloy. And you know, it's even inexpensive. It's not like, you know, expensive steel or tool steel or anything like that. It doesn't really have to be. It just needs to be heavy and work, be the right weight. All right. So that's one way to do it. The barrel is fixed. You know, it doesn't even come apart. And I may get brave and break them down, show you. Okay. So that is one of the things. It's just designed to be inexpensive. It's just the way it is. Okay. It's really designed to be kind of a truck gun, a tackle box gun. Not that all of you fish, And I don't think you have to be a fisherwoman in order to buy one of these. So that might just be kind of a myth or a joke, but yeah, there's some, credit to that. So it's kind of made of pot metal, as they would call it, all right? I mean, it really is, the slide. So on the cheap. But now, on the positive side, it is pretty reliable. I mean, it's John did the first video. I'll link to it. This is his. And I don't recall him having a malfunction. He might have had to do like what I did there once or something, but it seemed to work, pretty well. And it's very inexpensive. On the positive side again, it's fairly reliable. It's accurate enough. Okay, I mean, it's probably as practically, accurate in a practical sense as the Glock. And if you put them both in a vise, ran some rest, locked them down, I don't know, maybe this one would be a little bit more accurate, maybe not, but as far as standing and shooting them, you're not going to really notice any difference. Plus it has a lifetime unconditional warranty. Okay, those are some of the positives. All right, let's look at this one now. Now this one is more streamlined, isn't it? You're still firing that same cartridge. If you put them up beside each other, bang them around, you see you have a much smaller firearm. Dramatically. I think the Glock weighs half. I weighed them. I can't remember. I think this was 4.5 pounds or something, if I remember right. But it's like twice as much as this firearm in terms of weight. Okay, and and just a more streamlined firearm. Okay, that's what you get. You get a big, bulky slide and firearm with this in order to fire that 45 caliber cartridge. It's that simple. And you get kind of bad ergonomics and balance because of that weight and the front weight and all that kind of thing. You don't get a replaceable front sight. You get, of course, this gigantic slide. It's kind of a bare minimum for self-defense. Now you also notice one of the negatives would be the fact that I want to be fair with it, but I just have a hard time operating these pistols if I don't get some better friction on it. An earlier video we did with one of these, I just have a hard time. These serrations are like non-existent for me. It's just slippery. So I put a little Talon grip on there, so it worked great. Okay, I can manipulate this thing without any trouble. Same for the grip; they're just slippery, and so I wrapped some Talon grip tape around there too, just so I can pick up this gun. I can operate it, shoot it, and feel like I have control of it. All right, so I did that. I almost had to. Okay, so to be fair, I do the same thing on the Glock. This Glock, I've had these grips on it forever. Okay, these are the old sandpaper, and that feels good. So I like some friction on my gun, and I have to have it on this thing. So that's one of the negatives I think about the firearm. But anyway, for $200, you can get the bare minimum that you would need for self-defense, home defense, or whatever it is. This would be tough to carry inside the waistband. It's just big, whereas this would be a fine little, inside the waistband, pistol. Okay, so in the same caliber. Let me shoot them a little bit more here. And before I do that, I want to thank Silencer Central for their support. I'm not going to put a suppressor on this today. I'm not sure you can do that. That's probably another negative. I don't know if anybody makes a threaded barrel. When I take it apart, I'll show you what I mean there. They might, but we appreciate Silencer Central's support. One-stop shop, get you a suppressor. They take care of the paperwork, a trust if you want, and everything is set that up. And then when it's approved, they'll send it to you, to your house. So appreciate their help. But we'll probably keep the suppressors off of it today. Let's shoot them both. I can use this mag. It's loaded. This is for a bigger Glock, but it'll work in that one. Let's just shoot them again, because I'm still evaluating and getting my impressions solidified here. See if I can hit one of those cans. Woo. Let's try the gong. Now it prints high for me, so I need to hold low. Yeah. A little bit higher though. All right, didn't quite get it there, but I was afraid to hold too high there to begin with. But it's not. Well, let me try it again while I've got the. I mean, I know I can hit the gong with it. I don't want to leave you with the impression that this high point will not shoot at the gong or not hit it. I might not be able to hit it, but the gun will. All right. There we go. What'd I tell you? Okay. It will hit the gong. And so will this one. I haven't shot it a lot lately, this old 30S, but I'm sure it will. Yeah, probably even hit a buffalo. Yeah, and a 2-liter. All right. So both of them will hit what you need to hit. Okay, that's key. So, you know, the thing you get with a $600, what it buys you. Again, talking to everybody, of course, and most of you, I'm not telling you anything, but we have a lot of new shooters. Just so many new to firearms. May never even heard of a high point or a 30S Glock. I've got a 41 model 41 Glock over there in 45 as well, and you have no clue about it. And you're looking in gun shops, and right now gun shops are a little bit sparse. Some of them are, but you see this and you think, wow, $200. Why do people pay $600 for that? Or more money for another one, or $450 for a different firearm, whatever it might be. An M&P, you know, you're talking with this gun. I just happen not to have an M&P in Smith & Wesson in 45. I've got it in 40 and 9, but I don't have a 45. And but basically, whatever I say about this gun, the Glock, is pretty much true for an M&P, Ruger, just a lot of different models that would cost for $500-$600. Okay, and again, though, on the low end, $200. I don't really know of many that would fit in this category. You know, High Point is kind of famous for making the most inexpensive firearm, and they know what they're doing. By the way, it's not like they set out to make a great firearm, and this was the best they could manage to do. Again, they're designed to be inexpensive. They know what they're doing. They're good people. We've talked to them at meetings and exhibits and everything. So they know what they're doing. They make them exactly the way they want to make them. All right? Okay. You think I ought to field strip it? Yeah, maybe I will and show you. That's another big difference between the firearms. I'll try. We may have to cut because I'm pretty uncoordinated. I don't want to struggle too much. But anyway, they both shoot. You know, they both shoot. It's just that this one is so big to be that caliber. So the way you break them down, well, let me start with the, do I have mag in it? Yeah. Well, there's a difference too. When the slide is locked back, you can't, it's already released. You got to pull it back to release it. Okay, a little different from most other pistols. And they're both empty. So we're going to field strip on both. I'll try not to take too long. And let's start with the Glock. So to take the Glock down to clean, you just do that and you work it out. There you go. You got your Glock apart. You can clean the barrel. You get to everything, and it's not too big a deal. And when you're finished, put the barrel back in, your spring, the design. And again, if this was an M&P, a Ruger, and any number of other pistols would be the same. Okay, so that's how that comes apart and to be field stripped. I just did it, right? Okay, I'm going to try to do and now again, to be honest, I've only field stripped this one time, but it's a little more of a deal. We're clear, you lock back the slide, and then you punch out. There's a roll pin that has to come out, and I happen to have this with me. I don't keep it in my pocket or anything. I'm trying to lose parts here. Like I said, if we have to break here, cut the film, which we don't do very much, do we? We will, but all right, got the roll pin out. Okay, let's not lose it. Now we got a bead on the, no, we don't have to bead on anything else. All right, this is a tricky part for me. I'm not very coordinated. I even have a piece of tape ready. I'm gonna put this over here just to make sure I don't lose a part. That spring can go flying. All right. Okay, so then you gotta muster up your strength, hold your nose right, and you pull back on it, and then up. Okay, and then, like I say, it's tricky. There we go. Whew. All right, and there's your recoil spring in there, and so you see it has a fixed barrel. Again, that's how it's made, inexpensively. You know, I mean, it's just, there's just nothing expensive looking about it, and it works. So you can clean it, you know, pretty easily. The barrel doesn't come out, but you can get to it there very easily from the rear, and that's what I was saying. I'm not sure you could get a threaded barrel for one of these. You might. I guess you'd have to, I'm not sure what pins, or roll pin there or what, to get that barrel off. I'm not sure, that chamber and everything. So, but that's how that is. And blowback, it's a blowback system. That barrel's fixed, kind of like a, what is it, a PPK. There's some different firearms in the universe that use that principle, and they're less expensive to make. Okay. So you got the big slide, and it's a good thing I put that tape there. It was trying to get away from me. You see the spring in there. I could take that, slides out, and then the spring and the firing pin, it just comes right out. I had all that out the other day because it was really the first time I'd ever broken one of these down. I wanted to make sure I could do it. Okay. And putting it back together is when I'm more likely to lose some of that. So let's put this real spring back in here. Getting it back is probably going to be harder. Okay, you know how it is. Tearing stuff up is easier than building it. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. This recoil spring. Boy, if it ends up down in there, John, you keep your eye out where I send it. Getting that lined up. I'd forgotten about that being tricky. Yep, there it is right here. Okay. First attempt. You see what it's pushing up against. See, there's not like a slot there or anything for it to go in to hold it. It just pushes up against that piece right there. So unlike most other firearms, you know, you don't have a lot to work with there. You really, you're better off to be inside somewhere. Work can only go so far. All right, we'll try it again. Oh, there we go. That's the trick. Keep my hand in front of it. Getting the barrel in that slot is kind of the challenge there. Some of you who have done this several times probably are a lot better at it than, needless to say. Put it this way so I don't lose it. Put more muscle in it. And it's hung up. Maybe I'm not. There we go. There we go. There's several things you got to get lined up. Yeah. Wow. Don't tell me I got it. Let me see. Take my tape off. Yeah, I might. Yeah, because that has to be down in that slot. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. All right, I'm proud of myself. Okay, so that's what field stripping it involves. Whoop, well, I almost forgot. Minor detail. Get this pin back in. Okay. It's a roll pin. I think I read that some people replace this roll pin with a hex nut or something, or pin, no, to make it easier get out. And then roll pins, I guess eventually, I always had a mental block against roll pins, whether it's in a SIG or anything, because I know the more you take them in and out, they get loose and different things, and you need to replace them. A little different from a Glock and a lot of other pistols. Hey, right, I was afraid we were going to have to edit the tape there, or you'd be here all night. So, okay, so there you go. And it's got a magazine disconnect, so you can't pull the trigger unless you have a magazine in it. All right, so there you go. Both of them field stripped and back together. I'm not sure which one took longer. We can look at the tape, look at the video probably, and look at the timestamps and figure that out. But so I'd have to say, all joking aside, that's one of the negatives, of course. The design, in order to, again, make it a $200 firearm, it's just not going to be you know, made the same way, as clever, and the same steel, and just you know, being able to take it apart. And again, whether just imagine this is a Glock, but it could be an M&P, a Ruger, any number of firearms that sell in that range, $500-600 of your more expensive, you know, pistols. Okay, you get better steel, you get incredible steel in some ways, and an incredible finish on a lot of the firearms. That's another thing that makes them more expensive, where it's almost impossible for some of them to rust. Okay, just incredible. They don't use Tenifer anymore on here, but they these great finishes and treatment of the steel and all that sort of thing, which I'm sure you don't quite get that with a High Point. You just not the money put into it, right? So we'll shoot them one more time, and I'll let you all escape maybe. Okay. Magazines, I don't know, it seems all right. It seemed like it was hanging up a little bit. I was loading it before. I'm not sure. You could talk capacity, there's different models of course, of 45s, and whether it's M&Ps or Glock or anything, that will hold, you know, like 15 rounds. Whereas the High Point is a single stack, so you're limited on capacity. They don't have the option, I don't think, that I'm aware of, for like a double stack mag or grip or anything. So that is one of the negatives, I guess you put in the minus column. And a lot of people have these. I've learned that from the videos we've done on them, in John's video, that just a lot of people have High Points. And people that are really experienced with firearms, I know that if you're a High Point owner, well, John's an owner, you get tired of people making fun of them. I understand that, but just know that people are not making fun of you from a snob perspective, or because you can't afford a better gun. They're not making fun of it for that reason. Just know that. It's just that people who are experienced with firearms, they've shot a lot of different kinds of firearms, they're just, I mean, it's just a fact, they're going to be much less likely to buy a High Point pistol. It's that simple. For whatever the reason is, they might have less money than you have if you're a High Point owner. They may have a lot less money, but if they have a lot of experience with well, firearms like this, M&Ps, Ruger, all sorts of different 45s, they're probably going to figure out a way to buy one of those, because once you have shot something like this and you break it down, you work with it, and you learn to shoot it, and then you pick up one of these. Do I have it loaded? Yeah. You just, it becomes comical. I mean, that's just an honest impression with almost any experienced shooter. An experienced firearms enthusiast that has a few years shooting different firearms, you hand them one of these, their first thing they're going to do is laugh. It's just a fact. They're not laughing at you. Yeah, it's not it's not a snobbery thing. It's just they're just funny because they're so big and heavy. They're like something out of a space movie or something. But they'll take out a desperado cowboy like that, okay? That's the important thing. They actually work. And one of these works, you know, shoots the same bullet, same ballistics, going to hit just the same velocity, I mean, essentially, and everything. It's just the hardware is a little different. Now, this one is, I didn't charge it. Yeah, it's not hot, so I'm going to show that one of the other differences. I don't have a holster, but I mean, this thing is just so you can stick it in your holster. Not you would do that probably, but it's just thin, carried inside the waistband. That one, you better have a big waistband, lots of room, no doubt about it. But you know, they both achieve the same purpose. So the one reason I used this instead of the 41, the 30S, was kind of to illustrate the difference in size and what you can get, you know, and why you pay more money for an M&P, a Ruger, a Glock, a SIG, you know, that something like that. That's $500 or $600. Okay, much lighter, much better designed. Again, the design's on purpose, but much better design and extremely reliable. I would say more reliable than the High Point, especially over the long haul. okay? So if you're new to firearms, just some things to think about. You do have a lifetime warranty, unconditional. They're very good about that too. As I understand, anything happens, man, they'll send you another one to fix it. It's just no expense to you at all. And if that's all you can afford, have at it. But I always recommend you go in and shoot several guns, rent them, rental ranges, and get as much knowledge as you can and experience behind your belt before you take the plunge, even on something like this, okay? So it's not a snobbery thing. Like I said, it's just so different, and it's just not as well made as most other pistols. Does it work? Yes, it does. So for $200, you can get a pistol, as you saw, that will fire. You really will. And you know, I'm not going to go overtime bad-mouthing them. We've had our little jokes with them. Everybody that's an experienced shooter, gun person, you know, has done that, and I'm guilty of that too. I apologize. I didn't mean to be mean to you all. But it's a kind of gun, again, I will say that, and I know that's what made people mad in probably the first video, is that that's all you can afford, fine. But, you know, if you've got 8 or 10 of them, whew, man, I would just I would just recommend you trade in a few of them and try some other firearms, okay? And like I say, though, you know, I mean, I've got one in my house. I mean, not in my house, but somebody related to me, John, owns this firearm, okay? John, I don't know why he bought this. Actually, I bought it for him, okay? He's worried I wasn't going to admit that, but I bought it for him for Christmas a couple of years ago, okay? So he didn't go out shopping for a new pistol and come home with this. It showed up in a Christmas present. All right, so I'm going to try not to laugh. No, so yeah, for $200 you can get a pistol that shoots, lifetime warranty. It's just be ready to you better do some lift those weights, you know, and get those muscles built up if you're going to carry one around for a 45. The 9mm in these pistols, there's not as much difference, but in the 45 is a big difference, okay? So this is the High Point model JHP, by the way, 45 ACP, and this is the 30S 45 ACP. So there you go. 2 different pistols, 2 different prices, and I think I kind of covered the main differences. Share with us, please, some of the other differences that you are aware of. Some of you have had a lot more experience with the High Point, and maybe even the 30S, or any pistol in that price range. Talk about the difference and what you have discovered. Some of you have put a lot of rounds, as I've heard from you, a lot of rounds through High Points, thousands of rounds through them. Okay, 9s and 45s, and so, you know, let us know. I mean, share with the viewers, you know, the watchers, the viewers of our video, the readers of the comments, you know, what your experience is, okay? Because there are thousands upon thousands of new shooters, new gun owners, like coming to everybody's videos, including ours, and they don't even know what a High Point is. This is the first time some of them are hearing about it, okay? So try to be kind. I have tried to be kind and just be you know, factual about what your experience is with them, okay? And why you recommend they buy one of these, or you recommend they don't and they save up for something better, okay? Try to give them some constructive advice, and that is my advice. I would really look at some better pistols is my advice. I have nothing against High Point, you know, they didn't make me mad or anything. They're good people, but I would try to, you know, save up a little bit more money and buy a used gun. I've said that many times. In a better gun, you know, even if it's been used a lot, it might be a more ergonomic, better balance. You might shoot it better trigger, and all those sorts of things. Don't know. It's up to you. So I've rambled too much. I'm sorry. I apologize. But it's great to have you all out tonight to help us compare a couple of pistols and this price range. So feel free to share your experiences, okay? Life is good.
Tired. It's a long walk from where I had to shoot that. Oh man. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. Since you're here, I want to let you know about our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol, talongungrips.com. Check out everything they have over there. You can get lots of different grips, the stick-on grip textures for, your handguns and rifle grips, so go check them out. Also Ballistol, they're a firearms lubricant or anything else you might need lubricating. It's water soluble and non-toxic. Been using it on the compound and cleaning all of our guns. It's a cleaner and a lube for over 10 years. So Ballistol, Talon grips, definitely check both of those companies out. And also, while you're on the internet, don't forget to go to hickok45.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Hickok45, Twitter, Hickok45, Instagram, The Real Hickok45, and also I have an Instagram page where I post behind the scenes stuff and different things like that. John, JOHN _ HICKOK45 on Instagram. And the next thing you have to do is watch more videos.